Good morning and welcome to Frank's School. It's a Monday. Roger, come on. I'm gonna pick up with the trades here a little bit. Well, just don't block the camera, cat. Pick up with the trades. Now, I could get lost in this subject. I'm only going to give myself about 2 more days before I'm going to go on to something else. But in any case, what I want to do today, I've been over there at the table showing you books that I have, images in these books, pages about the trades. Well, there are many of these images that they're online and they're in the public domain. So they're available. You know, if you would decide, oh, I'd like to look at that stuff or look at more of it, I'm gonna give you some keys to how you could go on that. But first, I want to mention that I found out recently that Minerva, let's see, she's sort of the same as Athena. She was the goddess of handiwork. I've been interested in the god usually of fire. Hephaestus, for example, and my character Marion is based on Ilmarinen from the Finnish epics, the craftsman god Vulcan. And I was looking into that. You see, this research is ongoing, absolutely, with this, especially with what I'm going to show you today. I'm just showing you what could be years of work for me or for somebody else. So I was researching a little bit, and I found this name, Etienne Boileau, in the year 1261 in Paris. He wrote a book called Le Livre des Métiers, the Book of Trades. The Book of Trades. Now, I don't think there are images in it, but it's online. You could go there and you could read it, and I think it's the first or most complete description of the trades in Paris at such an early date. So there's that. For me to go into French at the moment would be a little awkward. So I'm going to leave that one alone for a while. And then too, the images are not there. I've spoken several times about the Ständebuch. Ständebuch. This is Jos Ammons. I showed you images from it. It was 1568 in Nuremberg. I have a real problem spelling Nuremberg because in English it's not spelled the same way it is in German, but it's close. Anyway, it shows about 120, and I showed you images of that. And I also told you how excited I got when I found those images back in 1970 or whenever it was. Well, maybe you can imagine my excitement when I discovered that there's something called the Housebücher. Housebooks would be the translation of that. They're a collection of about 5 books, 2 or 3 of them. 3 of them, I think, kept by a man named Mendel, and then another 2, I think, by Landauer. Well, there's about, between the 2 of them, there are about 1,300 images of craftsmen of one kind or another, and they're in color. Now, they're not beautifully done like miniature illuminations. They're not of that quality, and they're right there online. I mean, that's you could, with a few clicks, start by going to Google and Google that, and now it's going to be in German, but I think it's probably in English as well. I didn't look, and just start looking at those images. I mean, it's overwhelming. They're in alphabetical order, or I think they've also been grouped according to the different categories of trades. And this is a work made public. I think this work is only about 6 or 8 years old, that it was done in Germany. Again, I think it's Nuremberg. There's the German National Museum, I think, is in Nuremberg, and it was a project that they got those images. I was so excited about that. You know, I let my German friends know about it, and then there was the worry, well, would you have to have permission to use these? I don't think so. From what I can tell, I don't think so. And I mean, it's going to take me a very long time, but I'll probably look at every one of those images. As a matter of fact, I began at that point to think about making, in effect, an extended playlist on YouTube. I guess put it on YouTube, so somebody could just click from image to image to image, and just see them at your choice. It would be a tremendous amount of work. And Shirley started to nickname me a computer freak, because to do that, I would have to be able to use a computer well. But, you know, if there's somebody out there in the world that's watching these videos and thinks, well, I live in an apartment in a big city, I can't do anything with the trades. Well, if you've got a computer and you're online, you could begin an enormously, I think, important book. It wouldn't be I don't think it would be a hard copy book, but I don't know. I mean, as I say, I'm just touching on this, but that sort of blew me away, and as you can probably see. And then I came across this name, Christopher Vigo. I'm not sure the city for this, but in 1698, you see we're coming up through the years. I'm not sure what this year was. I didn't write it down. It's somewhere in between these. In 1698, I mean, that's getting closer to the Industrial Revolution. There's about 200 beautiful images of craftsman shops. You know, look. If you, all you have to do is type this stuff in a Google or in Google, and you'll see it. Now on YouTube, if you'll type in "Der letzte seines Standes," that's German, and the videos you're going to get are probably going to all be in German. But you know, there comes a point I've noticed where with these trades, Germany is at the forefront. There were things done in Paris and in England, I'm sure, along these lines, and maybe some I don't yet know about. Certainly in Paris, Diderot's Encyclopedia. But Germany, to this day, it seems to me that the love of the trades and the old ways of doing things is stronger in Germany than any other place I know. And this series, Der letzte seines Standes, I would use as evidence of this. These are videos, modern day, people like you and me, doing traditional trades. When I first knew my German friend Shirley, and she first realized that I had this interest, she went to an enormous bother to make it possible for me to see these. I think there's 80 of them, or maybe more. But they weren't available. There was no way you could really see them. But she made it possible for me to see them. Now I'm not so sure how many are going to be on YouTube, but I think eventually they'll all be there, and they'll go on YouTube faster than you're going to be able to watch them, I think. And I wouldn't even worry about the German. I mean, I speak German and understand it, but half the time I don't understand what those people say because it's more technical. But what they're doing, it's well worth looking at. Now, how it's made, in my mind, doesn't even compare, but it's noteworthy. It's a whole really long series made in Canada, Canadian television, of how various things are made, from sports car engines to surfboards. It's amazing to see the wide variety they have. Now, this is not exactly the trades, really. I mean, because so much of it is industrialized. But you can still see it, and now that I think of it, I never know what became of my book. Oh, what was that book called? The Way Things Work. I should have written that down. The Way Things Work. I have no idea what became The Way Things Work. What became of my copy of that? And then there was a second volume of that. I loved that and studied that intensely. I think I had that all the way back when I was in Brazil. All right, and then finally I'll mention my own video of the various videos playlists that I've made of my travels. The one in Hagen, Hagen, in Hagen, of the open air museums that I went to with the Hawklings. Hagen was the one that was dedicated basically to the trades, although it was sort of pre-industrial, early water-powered industrial revolution. Fascinating and wonderful. It also blew me away. Well, there's years of study that you're looking at here, and I'm giving you sort of key names that can get you going. And good luck. Let me know if you decide, oh, I'm going to make that playlist. I love looking at these images, and I've got nothing better to do. I'm an old lady, but I can work a computer and can't walk around very good. The world's available. All right. Well, I've got 1 or 2 more days to talk about the trades. Probably 2. See you tomorrow.